Hello, I'm Josh Ellsworth with Stahls TV, and welcome to today's presentation called Vinyl Cutter Success. First off, if you're watching this, you've probably invested in a vinyl cutter. Congratulations on that investment. It has one of the best ROIs for an equipment device in many decorator shops. The goal of this video is to walk you through the different heat-applied film options that are available for your vinyl cutter in order for you to really put the cutter to work and be successful with it by landing jobs and growing sales. At this point, you should have visited StahlsTV.com and watched the cutter training to become more familiar with the specifics of your vinyl cutter machine. The goal of this video is simply to help make you successful by making sure you understand the options available in materials, explaining the differences, and showing you how to heat apply. You can expect to be with me for about an hour to an hour and a half in this presentation. And to kick things off, we're going to start with one of our most popular materials, which is called CAD-CUT fashion film. CAD-CUT fashion film holds the place of our lightweight heat transfer film in our product lineup. Like any other heat transfer film or what we call CAD-CUT material that I'm going to cover today, it comes in a roll for you. And you can order these rolls on CAD-CUTdirect.com to get factory direct pricing and order them in typically increments from 1 yard up to 50 yard with a couple roll lengths in between. Heat transfer film in general comes in different colors. In this case, I have a metallic silver roll that you load into your vinyl cutter with the adhesive side up, complete the cuts sent from your software in a mirror image, ultimately weeding away the excess to prepare your design. Now, I don't want to keep you here for an extremely long time, so we have a lot of our designs pre-weeded today and ready to apply over at the heat press. We're going to start over at the HOTRONIX Fusion and heat apply fashion film, so let's move over there now. Fashion film is one of our most popular products, and it's lightweight for t-shirts. The particular shirt that I'm going to be applying now is just a t-shirt from Sanmar, who's a great wholesaler of blank apparel if you don't already have those lined up. Now, fashion film, as its name applies, is very fashionable. It comes in a wide range of colors. In any of the materials that I'm showing you today, you can order color swatches of those products over on Stahls.com. Let me switch to the overhead shot so we can get a little bit closer to our HOTRONIX Fusion heat press. And I'll start by swinging away the heater of the machine to get access to the lower platen. Now I'm going to split my garment and thread it onto the heat press. In general, if you have a threadable heat press, I'd always recommend splitting your garment and threading it on. Once you've completed that, I'm going to pull up a little closer angle so you can see the collar here is hanging off of the edge of the heat press. Basically, anytime you're heat applying any product, including fashion film or any CAD-CUT material, you want as completely flat of a surface as possible. I won't repeat this over and over throughout the presentation, but want to make sure you know this up front. Every material has a specific time, temperature, and pressure that's required on the press. Depending on the heat press that you have, your machine should measure time, temperature, and pressure. Begin every application with a preheat to remove the moisture and wrinkles and get a completely nice heat printing surface, and then take the weeded design of fashion film and apply it down. Now, after you complete the weeding, you'll see the detail in the design here. Fashion film is a lightweight product. It's also a product that can do extremely fine detail. This speaks a little bit to that with the chevron pattern we've created throughout the design. But know that if you need something extremely intricate for a left chest design, whatever it might be graphically, fashion film has a very sticky backing, so it can handle that level of detail. If you accidentally pick something up, you can position it back down. If you had to stock one product and you're applying to cotton and polyester garments and blends, I would highly recommend fashion film. The sticky backing also helps to lay it down accurately and hold into position. In general, you'll always want to use a cover sheet when heat applying products, and I'm going to press it for the recommended settings. Now, materials are always evolving and ultimately have different settings, so I'd always recommend consulting the website or the application sheet included in your package of material for the recommended application. Fashion film is a single-step application, and the backing can be peeled hot or cold, meaning I can release it right away and I have a completed garment. Now, in general, as you're working with your cutter and using heat transfer films, you can have confidence that when you buy your products from Stahls, that it's going to be guaranteed to outlast the garment. It won't crack, peel, or fade. And we've taken it through 50 wash and dry cycles, so you can expect extreme durability. Now this feels soft on the garment. It's ready to sell, and I have a completed design. Fashion film comes in 40+ colors, so it's that great all-purpose lightweight product for t-shirts, sweatshirts, etc. Now, one of the most common questions that we get for folks that invest in heat transfer film in a vinyl cutter is, how do I layer? So the next tutorial with fashion film is going to show you about the material's layerability. So we'll complete the same process in loading our garment onto the press, splitting it and threading it on. Often if the shirt's too small for the Platen, you can always swap out the attachment or place a heat printing pillow or pad inside of the shirt to make for a flat pressing surface. We're going to continue with the same steps, where we're going to preheat that to remove the moisture and wrinkles. And then we have 2 layers. So basically, you're cutting 2 complete different colors. So in this case, we've cut the neon pink, and then we've also cut the metallic silver, 2 of the more special effect colors, if you will, in the fashion film line. In the design software, you're going to set this up so they perfectly layer. And we have tutorials on how to create these style of designs over on stahlstv.com. From an application standpoint, you can feel confident doing 2, 3 color designs from your vinyl cutter, just knowing you're going to have 3 separate or multiple steps. You're going to have to cut each by color, you're going to have to weed each by color, and you're going to have to heat apply each by color. Let's start with pressing the background layer down. One of the big benefits of fashion film, and I should always use a cover sheet, is that I'm going to be able to do what's called a 2-second fast tack, which is going to make it very easy for doing multicolor designs. I can immediately hot peel the backing. Now I've limited the material's time underneath the heat. Basically, when you're layering, one of the top challenges is if you give it the full application, you're going to get shrinking of the design. It's going to make it very difficult to line up your foreground layer. But by reducing the time that the bottom layer gets, you're able to perfectly register your foreground design. Another big benefit of fashion film, and why I love it, it has this crystal clear carrier, so it's very easy to line up accurately, quickly over at the press. Now I can cover both layers and give them the full recommended application. So I'm going to come back out to my main angle here. And as this is finishing up, basically I will just peel the carrier off. And I have a completed design that I'll hold up to show you now. And so very easy to customize. At this angle you can see the metallic finish that's shining off of the design. This feels soft. You can build layer on layer. Once you get to 3 layers, I mean, you're really adding extra layers of weight to the actual garment. You probably want to start looking at options like a digital transfer. We call those CAD prints from Stahls. That's going to give you multicolors all in a single layer. But with your vinyl cutter, you can really get creative, build up the products in layers, and come up with some cool effects. So as you're sticking over at the heat press, I'm going to move to a very popular material that people sometimes use for their team uniforms. And that product is called thermofilm. So if we're taking the materials and putting them into buckets, so far I have a lightweight bucket. That's fashion film. That's going to be your all-purpose material for cottons and polyesters. Feels great, great for layering. Now, when we want to start looking at the athletic category, meaning something that's rugged, durable for team uniforms, we're going to be talking about thermofilm. This has been our #1 seller for years in team sport shops, sporting good dealers, and they use a ton of it. Now, one of the benefits of thermofilm, of course, you can purchase it by the roll for cutting on your cutter, and that's what we've done to cut this custom player name here. But you can also Of course, you can cut the number if you want on your vinyl cutter, but if you really want the lowest cost to customize a team uniform, you can order the loose numbers pre-cut from Stahls. These are available on the website. They're called pre-cut numbers, but a lot of folks will stock these in packs of 10, etc., by font, by color, by size, and that makes for quick, easy placement and customization. Once again, you can cut this all yourself, but pre-cuts are ultimately going to lower your overall cost to customize and make you more successful in the team business by netting you more margin. So let's bring it back over to the heat press. I'm going to go with my overhead cam and show you how we line everything up. So being able to decorate this polyester mesh jersey, since we have a name and number, we're going to show you on the example of decorating the back. I'm once again going to thread it onto the heat press or insert a pillow up into the garment to split the layers of the mesh. Preheating is still extremely important. And then I'm going to position the design. Names are great to cut on your vinyl cutter. Typically, they're very easy to nest up a large quantity and have very limited waste in the material. And typically, there's a lot of waste when cutting numbers, and that's why we're showing you the pre-cut option here, where I can simply line up the material. In this case, we got number 37. Position my set of numbers. Make sure I have a proper gap space in between the numbers. They're all lined up. Of course, you want to make sure the right side of the number is face up. White's tough to see, but typically the adhesive will be a smoother side, and you'll see a texture a little bit to the actual film side. You definitely want to use a cover sheet here when you position these down, or they'll stick to your heater. If you need help with lining stuff up, there's always laser alignment tools that you can add. And then heat apply thermofilm for the recommended time, temperature, and pressure. Once that's complete, my numbers are on there to stay. I can hot peel the carrier. So, thermofilm, rugged, tough, great for athletics. I'm going to move back to my main camera here because I want to show you a couple other examples of thermofilm that I have here on the rack. And this speaks to the product itself and a big advantage of it. So you see it here, the white numbering on the red polyester mesh jersey, also on the sleeves, the name and number combination. The beautiful thing of this with thermofilm for athletics is white stays white. If you've decorated polyester fabrics before, you know that sometimes there can be issues with the fabric color actually bleeding through your design, your lettering, and your numbering. And this is especially prevalent when you're putting white design on top of a dark colored fabric. So with thermofilm, one of the big deals, in addition to it just being rugged and tough, is that it inhibits that dye migration. So white will stay white, and you don't have to worry about it when it goes out the door. Also, you're seeing it a lot here on football jerseys and those sorts of contact sports. As mentioned, it's just rugged and tough. But having said that, you can use it on a baseball jersey too. There's all types of different applications for thermofilm, but typically the top use is in athletics, specifically for contact sports. If you happen to have a nylon jersey that comes across, you always want to check your fabric content. Most of our products, the CAD-CUT products, stick to cotton and polyester, but there is an option to thermofilm that's called ThermoGrip, completely separate product, but same finish, pretty much the same colors. ThermoGrip is going to have that extra durable adhesive for nylon. So make sure you understand what fabric composition your jersey is before you put thermofilm or ThermoGrip on it, because you'll want to use ThermoGrip for nylons. So I'm going to keep you right here on this angle, and I'm going to bring over my next application. Actually, let's move over to the max heat press. So just another model of heat press, and now you don't need two heat presses, but what we've done here is sort of for my third bucket in product, we're going to heat press a product called Premium Plus. So if you're playing along and keeping notes, we have fashion film that's lightweight, we have thermofilm that's athletic with a ThermoGrip that's for nylon but athletic, and now we have Premium Plus. And Premium Plus is especially beneficial for performance wear. Once again, just sold on a roll so you can cut on your cutter. Congratulations on buying a cutter from Stahls, because ultimately our cutters do very well with cutting Premium Plus, but a key here is you need to make sure you have a sharp blade. This is a high stretch material that stretches and recovers with the garment. It's also a low temp material. But when you're cutting this, if you don't have a sharp blade, it's going to make it an absolute nightmare to weed away the design. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my floating camera here, and we're going to come in close to this max press so we can see it loading. And the reason I'm over on the max is because I have it at 280 degrees for a low temp application. And as I mentioned, check the website for the latest recommendation, but as of right now, the adhesive used on Premium Plus is 280 degrees for 8 seconds. Once again, splitting, threading my garment. I'm going to do a quick preheat. I'm going to take my Premium Plus design, position it down. It has a very low tack carrier, so it'll hold in place, but it's not as sticky as like a fashion film would be. Cover it with a cover sheet and heat apply it for 8 seconds. Now you notice fashion film and thermofilm were hot peel materials. Premium Plus is a warm peel. Basically means I'm going to pause and peel. I give that about 5 seconds, just let it cool down a little bit, and then ultimately I'm going to release the carrier. When you're heat applying anything that's a warm peel or a cold peel, just as a general rule as you're trying to be successful and create quality products, if you ever notice even a little bit of lifting because you peeled it too hot, it will not hurt it to cover it back up and give it another application. I noticed it lifted on the edge here. I was a little anxious to peel that, so I simply will cover it. I'll give it another 8-second full application. It's just melting, remelting the adhesive and adhering it to the garment. I don't need to worry about anything, but I just definitely need to use a cover sheet, and I'll still have that nice quality result. Now there are no scorch marks on this garment. You always want to test your specific garment, but 280 degrees generally is going to leave you with no markings on the garment. If you close your eyes and feel this, you could almost not feel it. That's how soft and lightweight it is. And it has tremendous stretch and recovery, so it can even be used on spandex, lycra, those sorts of high stretch garments. Comes in a great color selection. Once again, you could order swatches from Stahls.com. I would highly recommend putting this in stock and capitalizing on performance wear. A lot of folks are afraid to decorate it, but with Premium Plus, you have this secret weapon. All right, so we're going to stay with the floating cam, and we're going to go all the way back over to the Fusion heat press for the next product. So as we're setting up there, just to review, we have 3 major products that we've talked about so far. We have fashion film, that's our lightweight formula. We have thermofilm, that's our athletic formula. And we have Premium Plus, that's our stretch and low temp formula. Now we start to really have some fun with special effects. So one of the major markets for your vinyl cutter and advantages that you now have are the ability to process special effects, particularly when we start to talk about products like glitter being extremely popular. So to show you what I mean, I'll lay these out for you, sorry to cut in front, but the glitter flake product that's processed on your vinyl cutter simply comes in a roll of material. This is a 2-color design created with it within CADWorks Live, a free design tool you have access to. But you get that nice glitter texture. It's great for spirit wear. And we always say for every 1 player, there's about 6 to 7 fans in the stands. Many of those are females, and they're going to go nuts about glitter flake because they want to stand out. Glitter flake is very popular in dance, for spirit wear, for cheerleading. Even in progressive small businesses, you can buy this glitter on the roll. It has the adhesive side that you cut on and the glitter finish. Pick the colors you want, process it the same way. Cut it, weed it, and prepare it to heat apply. So know that you can do basic applications with the glitter flake, but one of the top profit opportunities that we're going to show you here are these oversized shirts. As we're producing this video, it's March of 2016. These oversized shirts are absolutely on fire right now. and there's a ton of profit margin in every shirt that you decorate. And so we're seeing companies that are using products like Glitter Flake to customize the full shoulder-to-shoulder print on the back of these shirts. On average, you can expect about $20 in profit per shirt customizing like this. So I'm going to show you the process to do this, talk to you a little bit about Glitter Flake, and then also talk to you a little bit about where you can buy these garments from as a bonus tip. So we've processed the Glitter Flake on the vinyl cutter, and we've prepared the design by weeding out the whole piece. The shirt is oversized, so my design is not going to fit on the press all at once. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold the design back to find a centering point. And then I'm going to position the design down on the garment. So it actually looks like, basically I have a left chest graphic here as well. So I'm going to trim that off. As with anything, you want to nest up your designs. So in this Glitter Flake design, I have a left chest garment. That's all right. I'll just trim it off, and I'll show you how to place that as well, which will be a helpful tip. I know I've centered my design with the tag, and I'm going to flatten it out, hold the sleeves out, and just take a look and make sure everything's centered. Now, to press it, obviously if you can fit it all in the press, you'll just press it once, but for this oversized application, I'm just going to slide the shirt to the side. I'm going to position my cover sheet down, heat apply half of it for Glitter Flake's application. I know I skipped it for speed purposes, but preheating is always recommended. I'm going to slide my shirt to the other half, make sure my collar's off the edge, and try to make sure my design is getting fully up onto the press. And I'm going to cover it and press my other half. And it's okay if the center of the design receives two applications. It won't hurt anything. So Glitter Flake on average is about 2 times the cost of, say, a fashion film material. So you're going to have an increase in cost to create the design. But in general, it only costs about 2 cents per square inch. And so the profit that you can generate by using glitter on a garment versus a basic finish is typically well worth it. So you can see we have the full edge-to-edge print, and now I'm going to print and spin, ultimately just spinning it on my lower platen to get to my left chest placement. The particular garment that I'm pressing here as I preheat and get ready for my left chest placement is from Pennant Sportswear. It's called their Billboard Crew. Another popular supplier of these is Boxercraft. They call it their Pom Pom Jersey. Just a couple places you can get these garments. And then J America carries the style as well. I'm going to place my left chest graphic. I want this at a little bit of an angle. A good tip to placing left chest graphics is just pinch top shoulder on a crew neck style and run a center line down. And that should give you a basic placement for your left chest graphic. We have complete placement recommendations over at Stahls.com if you want specifics. And once again, you can always have a laser alignment tool to help you hit the placement. So glitter, single step application, very easy to cut on your vinyl cutter. It is going to require more downforce. Some folks recommend a special blade for cutting glitter. I've had success cutting it with a basic blade as long as it's fairly sharp, normal downforce, and it's very easy to heat apply. So it's really, a little bit more difficult to weed than a standard material, but it's well worth it when you consider the profit that you can make from glitter material. This also brings a different concept that's very popular for vinyl cutters, and that's monogramming. So not only names and numbers and not only custom designs, but the idea that you can do personalization now and unique monograms and different concepts is extremely popular. Now, a lot of folks they have the glitter flake, but they want to say, what else do you have in bling that I can use with my vinyl cutter? And so I'm going to show you a couple different other materials, the first of which is called CAD-CUT hologram. I'll throw this against the black backing so we can pick it up better. But CAD-CUT hologram is another option. And basically, there's a lot of different colors. You can simply cut and weed this. We've cut it in an actual faux rhinestone pattern here, as you see, which makes it give the look of rhinestones when it's applied to the garment. You can cut it on the adhesive side, weed away the excess, and prepare it for heat application. Comes in a roll, right for your vinyl cutter. Now this is a very slim cut shirt. I'm going to have a hard time splitting and loading it onto this platen. So this is the first point in the presentation. I'm going to have to actually change out my platen. All that happens is I remove a little clip there and a pin registered attachment. I'm going to drop in my 11 by 15 attachment, which I have right here under my press. Lock that back into place, depending on when you bought your machine. If it's a HOTRONIX, it probably has a lever there or a little gold pin to lock it into place. And that will allow me to split and thread this on. Now a general rule is as you're printing designs and sizing designs, you want to be considerate of which platen you're going to be printing on and making sure that your design will fit on the platen. As you can see, we've designed this so we know it'll fit the 11 by 15 platen that we're going to have to use if it's right on it. So we'll start with the preheat. Anytime you change your attachment, you're going to change your pressure to make sure it's at an accurate pressure. Position your design. This is a scoop neck shirt, so we're going to place our graphic a little higher than normal than we would on a crew neck because it's going to be a lower cut. Cover it and heat apply. Now hologram's more of a warm to a cold peel, so I'm going to let that cool down quite a bit before I peel it. And it's always best if you can just remove it from the press to let it cool down. As I mentioned, I'm impatient, so I'll let it cool a few seconds. Let me just move that to the side. I'm going to load a different attachment while we're waiting on that to cool for my next application. We're going to use our hat bill platen. So if you don't have a HOTRONIX heat press, I know you just spent money on a vinyl cutter, but mark this off on your wish list as your next investment is a HOTRONIX heat press, because you can heat press so many more items on these presses than you can on any other press on the market. In this case, we're going to utilize our hat bill platen, which will allow us to print multiple hat bills at a time underneath the bill. And really the goal is to show you yet another application that you can do with your vinyl cutter if you have the right attachment. In this case, we're using a product called Fashion Film Electric. Going to press that here in a second, but first let me bring this back over and peel it. It's cooled down now. So you peel it and you can see. Nice thing is about putting all these open areas in there, this feels very soft. You can see the sparkle in the design. I mean, this just pops and you're going to pick it up from a fairly long distance away if somebody's wearing this garment. So just to review, we're looking at CAD-CUT hologram. Glitter Flake is the more popular product, but hologram is a very nice finish as well. All right. The product that I have loaded onto the hat bill is another sort of bling metallic product. It's a little bit understated, but the product is called Fashion Film Electric. So you remember Fashion Film, it was the first product that I showed in this presentation. Fashion Film Electric is sort of the metallic version of Fashion Film. So I get the nice soft hand, I get the durability that I can come to expect from Fashion Film, but I get the electric or the metallic finish. And this comes in a wide variety of colors. The particular color that I'm using right now is a yellow color. I'm going to adjust my pressure to do the application. And just like fashion film, it presses at the exact same settings, and it's a hot peel. So as you're showing fashion film, perhaps a way to be successful is have a good, better, best sales philosophy where I can say, hey, if you want to jump up to a metallic electric finish, here's the upgrade and price point. If you want to jump up to, say, the glitter finish, here's the price point. So you just peel it back, and you can see the nice metallic finish that's coming off of that. So when I say good, better, best, basically this costs a little more than fashion film. Glitter flake costs a little bit more than your fashion film electric, but if I sort of move that, I think you may pick up a little bit on that metallic sheen that's coming off of it, depending on how the light hits it. But know that you can order color swatches of this. Some of the colors just really pop as true metallics. Now, of course, I'd have to have a cap press to press the front of the hat, but heat transfer films can do the front of hats. They can go directly over the seam. So they're great for headwear customization as long as you have the right machine or attachment. So we're going to stick here, but I'm going to switch over to the overhead cam for a second to give you just another angle of changing everything out. And I'm going to unlock this cap build Platen. And let's take a look at our next heat transfer film that you can run through your vinyl cutter. And that is going to be glow-in-the-dark material. So this is one of the best kept secrets. It's really cool stuff, is the glow-in-the-dark material. I'm going to load my 11 by 15 attachment back on, because I'm going to do a youth shirt with this. I'm going to split my shirt onto the attachment. Adjust my pressure and preheat. So glow's cool in the sense that it looks white or slightly off-white. It's cut in the same way. It has that same sticky carrier as fashion film or fashion film electric would. It's very thin. Weed it, just flip it over to apply. So it doesn't really jump out at you right now, but when the lights go off, it's going to actually glow. So the key thing is you want to make sure that the glow, when your customer has it, it needs to charge in order to glow, so it can't just be tucked in a drawer underneath a bunch of other garments. You're going to want it out in the light. It doesn't have to be sunlight, just light in general to charge, and basically it'll glow after it's been charged for X amount of time. And so very easy to apply, very easy to peel the carrier. It's a hot peel. And then we'll switch views here for a second and take a look at this as it glows in this picture. All right, so that's a pretty cool product. Now as we look at glow-in-the-dark products, it leads me to another product that reacts to light, and that is reflective. So one of the big opportunities for your cutter is actually cutting reflective material. And so we have quite a few different styles, the most popular of which is a product called 3M Reflective. And you're really going to see this come to life after we apply it to a high visibility jacket. But knowing that there are heat transfer films, reflective or otherwise, that are able to be applied to outerwear jackets, which are huge profit margin opportunities. So I'm going to show you the right way to do that by loading on a jacket. I'll rotate my attachment sideways to better hit the placement. Going to split my garment on and load it into place. Now, basically you can see that anytime you're doing some high visibility stuff like this, the reflective stripes are actually up on the Platen. And so I'm worried about those being heat sensitive and what might happen underneath the heat. So ideally, I'd be able to cover those up with what we call a flexible application pad. Now, if I can just raise the print area, that's going to be fine. But if I can't raise the print area to get rid of them, I'm going to have to use what's called a flexible application pad. Now, the flexible application pad is normally an 18 by 20, but you can use one pad. You can cover your reflective stripes to sort of protect them. You want it covering just the striping, not the transfer. Okay? And then I'll start with my preheat. Now I'm going to just work to position my design, trying not to lose this from protecting. Making sure it's fully on the garment. Just going to slide that off so it's just protecting the striping and not interfering with my application. And the sticky carrier will sort of hold it into place. Cover everything with a cover sheet. Actually, may be beneficial to trim these down just a little slimmer so it doesn't have the weight hanging off the edge, but I think you're getting the concept. We basically want to cover our striping and not the edge, so I'll grab scissors and trim those down just a little further. If you're going to do a lot of this, it's worth sacrificing the price of a flexible application pad to do it. If you're going to do just one kit, you may want to look at a smaller Platen and sizing down your image. So this will just show you the concept. That way it'll hold better. And give it the full application. Once again, this is the 3M Scotchlite Reflective, and this particular product meets ANSI certification for retro reflectivity, so it's going to be great for markets that are in your local town, like municipalities, local roadside work crews, runners, cyclists, even kids' backpacks for high visibility. I mean, there is a ton of opportunity for product like this. It's very easy to apply. It's going to match the striping perfectly. As you can see, we didn't damage the striping at all. And then we can also do a left chest graphic on this same jacket. So in order to do the left chest graphic, basically what we're going to do is one of two options. We can load a 6x10 attachment. So I'll remove this, grab my 6x10. Now you can always buy print perfect pads if you don't have them. That's this rubberized pad, just sort of loose from your heat press that you can load up in. Or in this case, I'm just going to split my garment, try to get to a left chest application area here. Making sure my zippers and everything are hanging off where I can. Unzip my jacket to get a better look into here. There's a port pocket on this one. This is from Sanmar as well, which means I can unzip it and I can sort of thread it over to get it down to a single layer so I don't damage it. See, I'm able to get rid of mostly everything, but I'll just take my flexible application pad, cover the edges, and then I'll do my preheat. As you're preheating, I'm working to dial in my pressure. Position my left chest graphic. Cover and heat apply. So something like this takes a little bit more care at the heat press, and you got to be careful, but the thing is, most people view jackets as higher risk. And if you know the right strategies to do them and the right products to use, the right heat transfer films, sure, they're high risk if you don't know what you're doing, but as you know what you're doing, it becomes tremendous profit opportunity because there's a limited number of people that are competing for this business in your area because they don't know how to do it. But we just showed you how to do this here and how to be successful with your vinyl cutter by doing outerwear. And reflective is a great option for that. All right, so hopefully you're getting some ideas, getting some markets that you want to reach. If you do embroidery, I'm going to show you a product that's a nice alternative to embroidery. which is called flock, that you can cut on your vinyl cutter. If you don't do embroidery, I'm going to show you a product that's a nice alternative to embroidery, which is called flock. So either way, flock is a great product, either as an alternate price point to your embroidery job so you don't have to devalue your embroidery, or as an option for left chest graphics where you get like a suede look. So this is a little thicker material. Would recommend cutting it with a higher angle blade, if possible, on your vinyl cutter because it's a little bit thicker. When cut accurately, it's very easy to weed, very easy to use. I'm going to load my garment for my left chest logo on my 6x10. I'm going to preheat. And then I'm going to position my design. So once again, just cut, weeded. This is actually called CAD-CUT flock. It can be layered if you want to do a two-color design. Position it down and give it the application. It's more of a warm peel. I'm going to bring you back to a leveler angle here. So as we peel this and show you the finished result, you're going to be able to pick up a little bit on the dimension of it. So it's a cold peel, so I'm going to have to let it cool down a little bit before we peel it. And if we get real close, you'll notice the dimension and the nice velvety texture to the actual transfer. So that's just really cool. Customers love that. It has a little bit higher perceived value than a flat finish. Sure, I could use fashion film, pretty much any product we've shown you here on this left chest graphic, but flock is perfect for this. It's also perfect for indoor sports applications and lettering for that, where an athlete may be sliding across a gym floor or a court like indoor soccer, and you don't want the numbers to catch on the floor. So flock is a fairly unique product. Now, speaking of unique products, we're going to go back to the Max Press, and we are going to heat press a couple different products, actually. So there's been a trend going on that's basically a trend towards clear materials, or what we call transparent materials that give you a tone-on-tone effect. So I'm going to load the 11x15 attachment over here on my Max Press. You'll notice that this one's interchangeable too. So even if you're on a budget, you can get into a Stahls heat press and a Max Press at a good price point and get these interchangeable attachments so you can make the most of these applications. And we're going to do, there's two different products. There's a clear matte and a clear gloss that we're going to do. So I'll start with this angle and showing you how to load this hooded sweatshirt. This is a performance hoodie, so it's nice. These products also go on at 280 degrees, and to be clear, the product name is SuperTech Clear Matte, and there's also a SuperTech Clear Gloss. So I'll grab my cover sheet and we'll start with a preheat. Make sure you adjust your pressure anytime you're on with a new attachment. Preheat it. And as we position this, let me bring you closer on the angle. You can see it starts as a clear film. We've cut it on the vinyl cutter. We've weeded away the excess. And basically, we'll just position it into place. Cover it with a cover sheet. And then we're going to give it 10 seconds. If I'm worried about my garment, I could break it up into 2 steps of 5 to limit the heat. But in this case, I'm going to give it a solid 10-second application. It is a cold peel, but the finish is going to be just awesome. It's going to look like it's actually laser etched into the garment, and who knew you could do this with a vinyl cutter until you get into these clear materials. So I'm going to let it cool down. I'll actually remove it from the press. We'll peel it here in a second. And while we're waiting, I'll do the gloss as well so we can do the big reveal on both at the same time. I think I need to rotate my attachment for this one. preheat. Clear gloss, same concept, just a little clearer, not the matte finish. Cover sheet. I could feel you guys flinching through your computer screen there, so we remember the cover sheet. If you didn't have it, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. There's a Teflon coated heater. If anything ever gets on the heater, it's very easy to clean. So both of these are cold peel, so let's we'll bring the clear matte back over into frame. Peel the backing, so you just get, wow, a completely awesome look. It's a very soft finish. You could do this, just this on the garment as we've done. You can start to build other products in it in layering. If you want to bring a pop of glitter or something else to really make a cool mixed media effect, these products are phenomenal and are going to make you different than any other decorator in town. Screen printers aren't doing this, but with your vinyl cutter you can be successful in coming up with completely cool and unique looks. And we're not done. Let's go for the gloss, which is going to give you more of a wet finish. I'm hoping we can pick it up at this angle here. And I'll hold that up for you as well so you can get a little better angle when it's being worn. So you can see you get that gloss effect depending on what angle you're at. You can sort of get really cool effects. It almost looks wet. This is great for team uniforms as well. Player names, details on shoulders of jerseys, performance wear applications. There is a lot of cool ways you can use it, even for layering on top of other heat transfer films such as fashion film or premium plus, to give that wet effect is a very popular way. So we call this sort of the glaze craze, and staying at the heat press, we're going to bring in a product called CAD-CUT glaze, which is one of our newest at the time of this video. It just came out. This is, at this point, it comes in 5 colors. It's sort of an iridescent metallic material that's clear. So it changes colors based on what you apply it to. You just cut it on your vinyl cutter, weed it, but it's going to give you a cool metallic finish. I really love this. First off on black where it looks true metallic, but I even like it for like tone-on-tone stuff. So in this case, we're doing this earth tone brown shirt. We're going to pair it with the glaze in the shift gold color, which is like a metallic gold shade. It comes in silver, royal, red, green. So there's a lot of different tones that you can mess with. Once again, it's a simple single-step application. This one can actually press down at 265 if you're going to polyester. If you're going to cotton, I need to be up at that 280, 285 range. Just make sure you consult the recommended instructions with your package. Once again, it's a cold peel, so I'm going to remove it. And I'll bring it back into frame here in a second after I cool it down. Let it cool completely down. And then I'm going to peel the carrier on it. So if I start holding this up for you to get a peek at it, if it ever lifts as you're peeling it because you're doing it too hot, I mentioned before, no big deal. Just throw it back on, cover it with a cover sheet, and give it another full application. It started to lift a little bit there as I was peeling too hot. When cold peel basically means room temperature, meaning let it cool completely down for a few minutes till it gets to room temperature, and then peel it. So I'll lift this up in the same way. And you can see, depending on the angle, you get that sort of iridescent look and that metallic gold. It's really an awesome product. You have to see it and experience to believe it. And it's almost like there's no feel on the garment. It's just completely soft. So great, trendy products. You can create cool looks with your vinyl cutter is the point here. We're going to head back over to the Fusion press. I'll meet you over there. And we're going to show you one last product, when it comes to processing on your vinyl cutter, because I'm sure you're on information overload. As I mentioned, take notes, come back, review this video. It's here to help you. The product I'm going to show you now is called CAD-CUT Adhesive. So I'm going to press this onto a fleece garment. Let's get the right size attachment on. Preheat. This product is called CAD-CUT Adhesive, and basically it's a great option for working with a product called heat transfer foil. So just to be clear, this comes in a 12-inch wide roll at the time of this videotaping. It's like a milky adhesive. You cut it, you weed it the same as you would process any other material. You flip it over to heat apply it. In this case, we're going to press this for 5 seconds. We're going to peel the backing. You can see it almost looks like the clear gloss on there, but the difference on this one is it's an adhesive product. So what it's going to allow me to do is heat transfer foil is another product available at Stahls. It comes in a 200-foot roll by 12 inches wide in a lot of different true metallic foil colors. I'm going to sheet off a piece of this foil that I know is going to cover my design. I'm going to position that flat over my design, making sure to cover the whole thing. Just give it a quick flatten out. Cover it with a cover sheet. And I'm going to heat press this for a second application. Once again, make sure you follow the current instructions on time, temperature, and pressure. And this is a true cold peel. Basically what's happening is the foil is only going to stick where the adhesive is. And I'm going to get that true metallic mirror finish that people want right now. I mean, it's popular in juniors and men's and little kids wear. You name it, it's popular. But we'll let that cool down, and then I'm going to release the backing. And so you can do some other cool things as that's cooling down. You can crinkle up the foil into the ball before you place it and actually create a distressed effect. And I'll bring that in to show you how that looks, so you can see where we've distressed it. You can do some things where I can actually add a second color of foil that will fill in all those distressed effects to create some two-tone stuff. So if you're creative, this is a really cool product. If you're not creative, you'll probably find yourself doing this simple single-step application. Basically, when I peel, it's a true metallic foil. And it's that mirror-like finish. I mean, that is hot. Feels soft. It's very durable. If I like that sheen, which I happen to, I can leave it like that. If I want it to look more like a low luster that it's embedded in the garment, you have that option too. All you need to do is give it a second application over at your press. You just cover it. Watch this finish change. Cover it up. Give it another 5 seconds. And now I have a low luster where it blends in. So you can change the finish of the material based on how you process it. So I'm going to take a second, gather up all my samples, meet you back at the table to give you a summary, and try to wrap this baby up. So as you can see, we've created, using a variety of different products, all that can run through your vinyl cutter. And you can reach a ton of different markets with different finishes. There should be no problem with you being able to separate yourself from the decorator down the street as you plug into different materials. So when I talk to customers, their questions are always, how do I make sure I get a quality product? Well, I can help you there. The fact that all of these products have been wash tested and lab tested and approved to outlast the garment. They're durable. And then the second question is, how do I know what material is right for what? So hopefully you've gotten the answer to that throughout this presentation. I'm going to do one final recap to sort of walk you through the completed looks all together. So let's come up close for that. Let's start with fashion film. To review, fashion film is a lightweight heat transfer film that's a great all-purpose product for cotton or polyesters. While most of the products displayed today can be used for layering, fashion film is phenomenal for multicolor layering due to its clear carrier and thinness. Very fast, easy to apply. If you want to start decorating team uniforms, thermofilm is a great choice. It inhibits dye migration, it's tough, it's rugged, and it's offered in pre-cut numbers for the lowest possible cost scenario when you cut the name yourself. Also available in thermogrip for nylon. If you want to print performance wear, while you can use the other two products displayed, this is a low-temp, stretchable heat transfer film that's going to give you the best possible finish. It's called Premium Plus. Soft, stretchable, low-temp. This is a product that's going to help grow your sales. If I were to point out some of the top special effects that you should plug in to your vinyl cutter and start selling, I would start with none other than Glitter Flake. Glitter Flake is our top-selling special effects. Its standout glitter finish is going to allow your customer to be noticed and ultimately help you grow profitable sales. Next, if you want that just a little more bling, we have CAD-CUT Hologram. In this faux rhinestone design, it's sure to shine above the rest. Let's move on to Fashion Film Electric, which was pressed on the underbill of this cap. This is a durable, metallic-like finish that's sold in a variety of colors. We finished the presentation with CAD-CUT adhesive combined with heat transfer foil, but I don't think anybody can deny that this is a true mirror-like foil finish, and it's a great way to complete the look with just a vinyl cutter if customers want to create. Next, a special effect material is CAD-CUT Glow, the product that glows in the dark. Just that niche product that has that white finish that may separate it from another product, a basic white for your customers, the fact that it glows when the lights go out. Next, if you want an alternative to embroidery or the suede-like texture, CAD-CUT Flock is a great option, shown here on a left chest design. If you're looking to go on trend, we have the transparent materials, including the SuperTech Clear Matte finish, which leaves a laser etch-like finish in the garment, the SuperTech Clear Gloss product, which leaves a wet look, and also the CAD-CUT Glaze, which is a translucent metallic that changes color based on what it's applied to, all of which are very soft and apply at a low temperature. And last but not least is our 3M reflective product. There are many reflective finishes, including colors of reflective from the Stahls product lineup, but this 3M product stands above the rest because it's ANSI certified for its retro reflectivity. Now, as you start to want to be successful with your vinyl cutter, and you ultimately start creating these finishes, there's going to come a point where there is just too many orders for you to cut, weed, and heat apply on your own, especially if you're in a small business. So rest assured, Stahls is your custom cutting house. We're standing by to cut any of these products, weed them, and send them to you ready to apply, which is a great opportunity to maintain the finish but increase your volume without having to add additional cutters and labor. Also, a Stahls company is Transfer Express. So I'm going to move over to the Fusion Heat Press one last time to conclude this presentation. And I want to show you a product from Transfer Express that's going to fit in very well with your vinyl cutter. This product is called Goof Proof. This is actual screen printed transfer where we're screen printing ink down onto a carrier paper from transferexpress.com. Basically, this will allow us to do fine detail, distressed images, a lot of different things without weeding. It's ideal for fine detail jobs, and it's also ideal as your quantity goes up. Eventually, it's going to make more sense for it to be screen printed on a transfer paper rather than you cutting and weeding everything. And so consider Transfer Express and Goof Proof an extension of your vinyl cutting business if you want screen printed results with just your heat press in only 4 seconds. This is a great product. Every person with a vinyl cutter should know about screen printed transfers, and every person buying screen printed transfers should know about the opportunity with a vinyl cutter. These products go hand in hand. It's actual plastisol ink on the garment. So I'd like to wish you best of luck with your new vinyl cutter investment. Whether this is your first vinyl cutter or your 5th or 6th vinyl cutter, hopefully we've shown you some ideas and material finishes to help you penetrate markets and grow your business. If you need additional info, we're always standing by to help at Stahls TV, or you can call our customer service number at 1-800-4STAHLS. I'm Josh Ellsworth with Stahls TV. Thanks for watching.